What is up? Welcome to Find Another Zero podcast with Travis motherfucking Zessinger in the house.
What up?
Dapper Dan. He's got dogs on his socks.
My dogs.
They're your dogs?
These are my dogs.
Yeah, and they match your shirt. It's like, dude, too much. All right. I'm Bart Pietrzak. I own Project Power Gym. Jackman, producer extraordinaire, is in the corner without a mic. He's in timeout. He's not. He's great. I'm just kidding. And we're going to continue what we were just talking about. We recorded that, right, Jack? Like, that's still going to be, we're just going to run it the way it just ran. We're not going to chop it up. We don't chop shit up. All right. All right, we're going to keep going. So, dude, I was thinking about how the hell, and this is like for the last 4 years I've been thinking about this, how the hell we can have such a disconnect from anxiety and stress, and everyone's pissed off, everyone's scared, like all these problems are arising, yet there's literally more information there's ever been in the history of life. Every answer to every question, every theory to every problem, every motivational tool that has ever existed, like everything's out there, but we don't personally know the fucking people that this shit's coming from.
Yes.
And back in the day, you had your dad, your brother, your older teammate, someone
Uncles,
giving you
coaches,
advice.
Yes.
And you're like, I admire this person. Wow. Let me try to apply this.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, then it's the same thing as you walking by a bridge with a fucking quote on it and you're like, oh, that's interesting. But like, it's not part of your life.
No.
So it goes all the way back to just like personal interaction. And because you have personal interaction, that has a substance to it, and it's real, right? Like, one of my most favorite parts of my week is our 2-hour session, right? Because we spend the first hour just chumming it up, man.
Yeah, and then the next hour you torture me and I get frustrated beyond belief.
Dude, we fuck your hips up, man.
Yeah, it's good, though. It's good, though.
And now that you're not wearing the hoodie, everyone can see that you're fucking jacked. Okay, last time you were wearing a big oversized hoodie that said America, unfat yourselves.
Yeah.
No, unfat yourselves, America.
Yeah.
Shout out to Will Be Inspired, Big Will Bates. So we've been working on your hips. We've been working on your mobility because you had back issues. We went over that in the last episode. But when it comes back to our 1-hour stretch session before we do our actual activity, you know, our conversations are deep, they're philosophical, they, go into our problem areas, but we both consume a decent amount of Instagram and we tag each other and stuff, and we send each other videos stuff, right? And then, we talk about it a lot of times in person. What is the difference between, like, let's say that video I sent you about the guy with his eyes closed talking about all you need to know about life, and then our conversations about life? What do you think the difference is?
The difference is, for me personally, and again, everybody's going to be different, but it's relatability. Like, I can relate to you because I know you. It's different when you know somebody and you know of somebody. Like, I know of LeBron James. I know who he is. All his basketball accomplishments, things like that. I know of him. I don't know him. I know you. Yeah. I know you, so whenever you're telling me something, I know it's genuine. Whereas somebody else, you don't know what's propping them up. You don't know what kind of message they're trying to send. I know exactly where you're coming from because I've known you now for, half a decade and been, I'd say, relatively close to you for about 2 years now. So I know exactly where you're coming from. So I know it's the sincerity behind what you're saying without like being mushy and being sincere. It comes back to me. It's like relatability. Like when Will says something, I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, Will's got 3 kids. He's got a wife. He's got a career. He's got a foundation. Like, I know what Will is about. So when he says something, I take that to heart. I'm like, oh, he means that. Like, and I know he means that. Yeah. So I don't know. Relatability, I think, is what it comes down to. Is I can relate to you better than I can Jordan Peterson or Ed Milet or some of those guys.
Dude, and the biggest revelation I've had, and I actually wrote a huge note down that's going to turn into a poster soon, is like we've become like, have you ever seen what's his name, MacFarlane, the guy who made Family Guy?
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane. He made a old Western movie, like how to 100 Ways to Die in the West or something like that.
I vaguely remember of it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a giant satire about Western movies, right? And in it, at one point they show like a snake oil salesman, and the snake oil salesman is like touting how this tonic helps this, this, and this, and this, and this. And it's showing how the townspeople are like just ranting and raving and going, oh my God, I can't believe it solves this and this and this and this. And because it's a satire, Seth MacFarlane is like making fun of the fact that this dude just invented lying.
Yeah.
And like it's working on all these people, right? We've exaggerated that concept for fucking 200 years, right? So lying, because it's so easy to obtain something you want through lying, so easy to do things through lying, that our marketing, right, our advertisement, our now social connections through social media, lying is the foundation. And we have literally become investigators to try to break through the lies.
I'm trying not to laugh, but I'm getting goosebumps because I swear, Bart, like anytime I have a thought or I come across a video, like you speak on it. Like it's crazy how this works. I swear to God on everything. On the way here, I was listening to a Jordan Peterson discussion or lecture, and he's talking about lying.
Get out of here.
Everybody lies, but what he says is you better be careful with what the lie is. Everybody lies.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you don't lie because that's in itself a lie.
Yeah.
But just be careful with your lies. And it was just like, yeah, like you do need to be careful with your lies.
Well, yeah. Well, let's say I'm going through something really difficult and I'm processing some really hard emotions and I have some real bad things that I could very easily express. But I don't want to. So I'm going to lie and say I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody does that.
Yeah.
But like you said, well, it gets me out of that sticky situation. So how about it gets me out of this other sticky situation? What's the line of sticky situation that I should or shouldn't apply this to? How much of a situation? How big of a situation? How much of a reward is okay to get from lying?
Because sometimes it's easier. It's easier to
It's
lie.
it's literally always easier to lie.
Oh man.
Always.
Yes. It's so much easier to lie than to just like, hey Bart, how are you? I'm good.
Yeah.
Are you really, man?
Well, dude, because I mean, but the truth of it is if every time I was asked how I was and I told you exactly how, I'd be exhausted from telling everybody all the shit that's going on. Like I don't literally have the capacity to do that.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I hired a pure German girl one time when I was working at S2, and
they don't lie.
Germans are the most blunt, direct humans. And when you ask her how you like, how are you? She gives you exactly. At first, actually, she doesn't. At first, she's like, do you actually care?
Yeah. Why do you care?
Why do you care?
Yeah.
Do you really want to know?
It's one of the things I like about the German culture. Some of the kids from Lindenwood that you meet from Eastern Europe, Polish, you guys as well. You guys are just very blunt and blunt and.
We live in reality.
Yes.
Very, very strongly.
And it's different from us, because we always try to like sugarcoat things because we don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
But over there, they're like, why would the truth offend you?
Well,
it's
not only
the truth. Why does it offend you?
I have affection for you. If I tell you the truth, that's hard because now we can do something about it. There's a solution. But it's very narcissistic and selfish to consistently lie to everybody because it saves you the discomfort.
Yeah. And when you know somebody is lying and, like, hey, man, are you doing okay? And you can just tell. You can tell by their eyes, like, yeah, man, I'm good. It's like, okay. And you just walk away because
you don't really care.
It's not that you don't care. It's like, okay, how do I say this without sounding like a dick? But you have to pick and choose what boxes you open. Because if you open somebody's box and then you're going to feel like you have a responsibility every time you see that person now to open their box. And for me, I don't ever want to be a burden to somebody. So I don't want to like express my emotions too much to where you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, Travis is going to start crying again. And it's like, you know what I mean? I don't want to put that on somebody. So I'll internalize that. Hey man, I'm good. And I'll just deal with it on my own.
But see, what's funny is like that whole conversation is already to the left of the conversation because number one, if I'm not ready to open your box, I don't ask, how are you?
Right.
Number two, if I'm asking how you are, I already know you're not okay. So what is the point to ask that question?
Yeah.
Why not just be like, hey, dude, what's going on?
Yeah, to get me to open up.
Right? So if I don't have the mental capacity or the time or the effort ability to go through this journey with you, I go, hey, brother, I hope everything's okay. I love you. You know, have a good day, dude. Right? Because I'm not gonna we don't need to do this charade. Okay. So once that's established and understood, then there's people in your life that you know that you don't have to open up to because they don't really care, or they're just doing it to be nice.
I think that's
and
a
kind.
better way of saying it. That's kind of what I was trying to get out, and trying not to sound like too much of a dick, but yeah, I agree with that.
And that's fine, and that's okay. Like
Yep.
that's the reality of, like, we don't have to pretend that every single person that I know is on the same level. I have close friends, I have friends, I have acquaintances, and I have people I know. You know, and that's like there's nothing like what's wrong with being either one of those groups? Nothing's wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
Right. So why are we keep pretending?
Yep.
Which brings me back to the original point of, like, when you watch movies, when you watch TV shows, when you see commercials, when you see magazine ads, when you get advertisements on Instagram, like, our first thing is bullshit. Right? Because again, since I've been born, I have been watching bullshit. I have been literally absorbing bullshit my entire life. And my maturity teaches me how to categorize the bullshit as extreme bullshit, kind of bullshit, not bullshit at all. Right? And unfortunately, because most of the life now is lived digitally, it's mostly all bullshit. To the point now where we have deep fake making videos that aren't real, having people say things that they never said.
Yep.
Right? So
You
like
got AI now that can literally take anybody's voice, your voice, and make it sound like you said it. It's like, how are we going to be able to differentiate the truth and lie?
All right. Okay.
Like, if I can spin your voice and make you say anything, how do you
3
deny
seconds.
it? How do you? That was AI. Well, how do you prove it?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Okay. So that's what I'm getting to here is, like, if that's true, because it is, Joe Rogan, even one of the biggest fucking information spouters of our time, says that almost half the advertisements out there with him aren't him. I got duped. There was this, like, ab breathing machine.
See, I didn't
thing.
hear that. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And you can't go after them because these companies don't exist. By the time, like, dude, I purchased something off Amazon for the gym. It broke a month later. I called the number that was provided. That company doesn't exist.
Like,
You know?
Man.
And okay, so as this is more and more real, what are our consequences? The consequences, like, what does this create? This creates an environment where we're going to go back to all I know is the people I know and what they know.
exactly. Yeah, and you can have the people that are closest to Joe Rogan, no matter what is out there in the ethos. Like, we used this example last time. Like, somebody can say Bart's an asshole. Well, I know you, and I think I know you pretty well. Bart's not an asshole. Like, so you can say that. Doesn't mean it's true. It might be your truth in the way you feel, but it's not everybody else.
Well, I have the capacity to be an asshole.
Sure,
I
sure.
have
I think
the
everybody
demeanor
does.
to be aggressive.
Yeah.
That's within me. And if your interaction with me was in such that required me to be that way, then I am that to you.
Yeah.
To you, I am that. And that's where that ends. You don't define me as a person because of our one-time interaction, right? And that's why you have to be very cognizant with your human interaction, your real world
That's
shit.
it, man. It's get off of social media
Dude.
and talk to people.
Yeah.
Like, I know this is going to go on social media and people are going to listen to it, but I get so much more out of just our hourly discussions every week than I do listening to 7 hours of Jordan
No doubt.
Peterson.
Absolutely.
You need that real world face-to-face connection. Texting with it was one of the things I did last year.
Can you hold it a little bit closer, bro?
Sorry. One of the things I did, not as tall as Will. One of the things I did last year was I tried to make it a point that when I want to give somebody a compliment, give it to them face to face.
Yeah.
Because how easy is it
No
to
doubt.
grab this and say, "Hey, Bart, man, I'm so proud of you." But when I'm looking at you face to face and you start to feel the emotion coming off of me, it is a little bit uncomfortable sometimes, but you just have to get better and better at it.
I
Giving
think
compliments to somebody can be like almost nerve-wracking because you're like, I don't know how they're going to accept this. So it's a lot easier
how
to send
fucked
it.
up is that, dude?
It shouldn't be
How
that way.
fucked up.
It shouldn't be
But
that way.
you nailed it.
Yeah.
You 100%.
Yeah.
I can think back. Dude, that's so funny. That's so funny because we've completely fucked up our ability to like transfer dopamine to one another.
Yes. It should be transferable. Energy. You talk about energy all the time. Energy is contagious. It's transferable.
That's right.
So you come in the room and you're bubbly and you're bouncing around. Now Caleb caught me out in the parking lot yesterday, 2 days ago. Sorry. And he had said that, hey man, I listened to your podcast with Bart, and what Bart said about you being like energetic and people feeding off of you. He's like, that's real, man. Like, and I don't talk to Caleb a lot. Like, I just see him in the gym. Hey, man, what's up? What are you training? And we go back and forth for like 30 seconds. Then we part ways, probably don't even say another word to each other. Mm-hmm. That was fucking cool. Mm-hmm. I was like, damn. I was like, thank you for telling me that, man. Like that,
dude, and
that makes me feel good.
And it's because of two things. Number one, people don't fucking feel comfortable taking compliments. Mm-hmm. And in my life, I have noticed that it's become more and more uncomfortable for people.
Because you want to be reciprocal. If you give me a compliment, I automatically want to give you one right back.
Which is bullshit.
Yes. Like when you say, hey, man, you're jacked or you got a nice physique, it's one of the things I'm trying to get better at is saying thank you to people, because I automatically spin it and I'm like, oh, man, no. Like I try to like...
minimize it.
Right. I try to like derail you off of that compliment, and I don't know why we do that. Why do we do that?
Yeah. We don't think we deserve it. We think that there's... Well, I mean, there's also probably this concept that is true from the internet we just talked about of we don't think that it's true. We just think that you're trying to be nice to us for a inflated fake reason. Mm-hmm. Right? Oh, no, I'm not. But thank you for trying to be kind to me.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. Instead of just being like, thanks, man. And that's something about like 5-6 years ago. Yeah. I've strongly, because think about this, dude. I'm not like, one of my love languages is not giving gifts. I know one of the love languages is gift giving.
Yeah.
However, I love, if I think of a good surprise or if I think of a good present, I love giving it.
Yep. Yep.
I also love the reaction that they get.
Yes.
Because of how much they love the gift I gave. So whenever someone gives me a compliment, I go, they're giving me a gift.
Yeah.
Say thank you and show your appreciation. Mm-hmm. And that will be the best thank you can give them, is a genuine taking of their gift and being happy that they gave it to you.
Yeah.
So as a people pleaser, past people pleaser, like it was dumb to try to minimize the gift that they were giving if my goal is to make them feel good about themselves. So if I really want to make you feel good, I'm going to say thank you, and that was so kind, and you're pretty badass, man. I really appreciate that.
Because that's the whole point of giving a compliment.
Yes.
Is like you want them to feel good.
That's right.
So when they say that, like, oh, man, that made my day. Makes you feel good.
Yes.
You don't have to give me a compliment
Correct.
back. Just you receiving my compliment just makes me feel good.
That's right.
Makes me feel good.
And like as we do that more genuinely, that transfers not just from compliments, but then to advice, and then to experience sharing, and then to theory sharing, and then to philosophy sharing. Yes. Because then it's not like this like fake fucking masturbation conversation where you're just trying to artificially make each other feel better.
Yep.
It's an actual exchange of energy and information, which is how society fucking came to be. That's how all of this came to be, was an actual share of energy and the motivation to do so.
Sure is.
Right?
Yes.
So, Will's episode, when I was talking with Will, and, we kind of got to the brass tacks of like, he just tries to do the most he can in real life. And, dude, like, it's such an obvious thing, but God damn it, like, we need to refocus ourselves on that.
Yeah.
Like, how many smiles do you get a day in your day-to-day?
Yeah.
How many positive influences do you have in your day-to-day?
Yeah. I know everybody's busy. Everybody wants to do their own thing, but I can tell you one thing that really, really helps, and it's helped me be more positive and energetic, is like random passing by of people, no matter where you are, gas station, just make eye contact with them. Hey, how you doing? And smile. Watch them smile back. Dude, smiles are so contagious. You smile at me, I'm inclined to smile back. Yeah. And then once you smile, you're like, that feels good.
I do hikes now every weekend. I have done them, but now it's like very habitual. And there's nothing more awkward.
Hold on. Now, I don't want people to take this the wrong way. When Bart says he hikes with like 600 pounds on his back. He's got a weight vest on, and he's got his pack loaded up. So that's not a hike. This isn't we're going to the woods just to hang out
I
like in
overdo
nature.
it. I tend to overdo it.
All right, go ahead, Bart.
I thank you for that. Yeah, that was dumb. I did that. That was a dumb move, but I did do it. We've conditioned ourselves where it's so awkward because like I can see someone from 500 feet away.
Yeah.
They're walking this way, I'm walking this way.
Yep.
When do you start looking at each other?
Right.
When do you start making eye contact?
Like you wait for them to look at you and make eye contact, and you like look away, and then you look at them. You're like, okay, are they close enough? Okay, they're not looking at me. Okay, now they're looking at me. Am I staring?
Yeah.
Am I staring?
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing is like I'm gonna
Why is that
acknowledge like
awkward?
I like you just said, I make it a point to walk with my head up.
Yep.
I do not walk and look at my feet. I did that so many years ago as a vow to help me with my confidence.
Yep. And don't look away either.
No.
Like if you're walking towards somebody, don't do this and like try to like look at them.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Acknowledgement and say
They're
hi.
a real person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But it's hard when you can see them 500 feet away.
You're the only two
How
on the
long
path.
do you stare at each other for
When do you start-
while you're walking?
Hey.
I'm going to say hi in 15 minutes when we pass each other. But
Yeah.
that's, plus it's nature, so you're looking around. So
Yep.
like you see them again and you look around again, you look at them again.
Yeah.
Also, other segue, the Lewis and Clark Trail, beautiful trail, overlooks the river. You get to a bluff about 2 miles in. It's awesome. However, the weirdest fucking people. I have not met one normal person.
Yeah.
And offensive or not, like, there's some weird fucking people, dude, wearing some weird shit all together. And I'm like, we're 5 minutes from civilization. Like, we're literally off of the path here. And, like, it's a completely different human existence in the woods. And I don't know why.
What's great about perspective too is you say that. How many people do you think pass you and go, why the fuck is that guy have so much weight on his back?
Listen to me.
What a weirdo.
I look like I'm going into World War III. I have military boots on. I have a military 40-pound vest. I have a backpack full. I have a canteen. This is a 5-mile loop where there's like 9-year-olds with their parents walking. You know? And I'm like full blown ready to go to war.
What's this guy preparing for? I'm walking my dog. What's going on?
I know I'm the weirdest one in there. I know it for a fact.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was a guy in Crocs yesterday or on Saturday, and I'm, full tactical gear. And obviously, it's not that hard if there's a guy in Crocs. However, I'm just saying, man, I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess I'm the weird one.
We're all
There's
weird,
only one
man.
of me, and there's been 100 of them.
Yeah.
So I guess I am really the odd one out.
No, but like you said, it's like just that awkward face-to-face interaction.
Can we not
with a
make it awkward anymore,
With a
please?
complete stranger, just say hi, smile, and go about your day.
It's
Hey, how are you? That's it.
Here's another little thing. I guess this episode's all about, hey, everybody, start fucking talking to people and start actually
I'm on
making
board.
interactions with
I'm on
humans.
board.
So my apartment complex has, so my building is 3-sided with an open and then a courtyard in the middle. Courtyard's beautiful. It's got like some artificial turf with some chairs. It's got two grills with chairs and umbrellas. It's got a big, nice fire pit that's gas you can turn on and chairs all the way around it. It's fucking awesome. Last Sunday, I do a lot of workout plans and stuff Sunday night. So I'm like, you know what? It's beautiful outside. I'm going to go into the courtyard. Now, there's 4 floors and 5 apartments per floor per side.
Sure.
So do that math. There's that many houses.
Couple hundred,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. More than one person per apartment. So there's a couple hundred people.
Yeah.
And everybody's windows and balconies face this courtyard. So I turned the fire pit on, and I got my laptop, and I'm just chilling out there by myself. Within 35 minutes, like 6 more people come out and sit around the fire with me.
That's cool.
None of us like talk to one another, but everyone comes up like, hey, do you mind if I sit down and join? Absolutely, man. Come on in. And everyone just got their work, and we're all just doing work.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anyone by the fire pit, and I haven't seen anyone since. So it just starts with one, and then other people are like, man, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
That looks... It always takes someone to start the charge.
Sure does.
So, for fuck's sake, after this whole eclipse fiasco where the goddamn internet made us believe that the devil is showing up at your door and like the world's falling apart and state of emergency, I didn't understand any of it.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. In 2017, we had the exact same thing happen,
Sure did.
and I walked outside for 3 minutes. I walked back inside, and that was over. You know.
I was waiting for it to get pitch black, by the way.
Yeah, they
Like,
said we're
pitch-
having a total like,
like
but
I'm like, it's going to be night in the middle of the day,
No.
and then like at the peak of it, I'm like,
this is it. This is like 7:30 p.m.
okay,
at
cool.
2:30 p.m. You know, like, dude. So that brings that. That's like what spawned all of this for me. Is like that happened because people now on the internet don't care about information sharing. They care about reactionaries. They care about, I'm going to post something as a comment or a post, usually a comment, and I'm going to stir the pot. All I want to do is stir the pot.
Right.
All I want to do is watch the fucking chaos after my comment. I love that.
But at the same time, like I just said, a compliment is kind of hard to give somebody face to face. Bring that negative energy face to face.
Yeah, it's not possible.
It's not, because you understand that, like, just telling someone that they look good, that, hey, you know,
That's easy
like,
comparatively.
you look good, as opposed to, dude, your idea is fucking stupid.
Yeah, like,
And like, if you were here right now, like, well, I am here right now, so just tell me what you need to say. Like this, we're not going to get physical, but
we might.
if you can't say it to somebody face to face, why type it?
Okay. And
Why
that's
type it?
Because there's no ramifications, consequences, or anything, right? So that just brings me to my point. So yesterday happened. Will posted his kid's school had a half day. You know, like it's pure pandemonium is happening over an event. Although it does not happen often,
Right.
it has happened.
It's
not that big of a fucking deal, right? And it's all because, and I'll put all my money on it. It's because someone put a comment that made someone else put a comment.
For sure.
Then a news story came out of it.
Yep.
And then it just spirals like that. And it's all based off fucking nothing. It's based off nothing.
I had a random thought and I wrote it down, and now all of a sudden everybody's running wild.
From the
with it.
conspiracies to the Jesus to the devil to the this to the that to the like, it's just everyone has nothing to fucking do, and so they sit on the internet and just make shit up. Okay, so instead of all of that, if we just fucking just lived here, you'd realize two things. 99% of the shit you're typing you would never ever fucking say. Because either you're not confident enough to be that motivational, or you're not big enough of a dick to be that mean.
That's
Right?
very good.
Right?
Because I bet the majority of people are right here in the center. They don't want to lean one way or the other, whether it's positive or negative. They just want to stay right here, and both are uncomfortable in person.
Oh yeah.
It's just
That's why they love online, dude.
Exactly,
Because they can be the motivator.
comfortable. I'm comfortable here.
I can try to be motivational under this no picture profile, no bio, no nothing profile. I'll be motivational, and if it catches on, then I'll let people know it's me.
Yeah.
It's like there's a zero risk opportunity on the internet, right? Yeah. And although that sounds awesome, because in the real world, well, if there's no risk, that sounds awesome. I can't be uncomfortable and I can't be negative. That's where the positivity fucking lives, bro.
It's so I had to build up the courage to tell, probably the kid was probably 20 years old. I've seen him at the gym before over at Club Fitness, and on Sunday night it was a day where we had nothing going on, which is very rare when you have 3 kids and my wife, her career, my career, like we're very busy. The gym, it was like 4:30 and I was bored. All right. I was like, Kristen, I'm going to the gym. She's like, 4:30 on a Sunday? I'm like, yeah, I got to do something. Like, I can't sit here and scroll. Like, I feel like this is painstakingly numbing my brain.
Yeah.
I need to go do something. Well, there was a kid up there who had a cast on, and I asked him for a spot, and he's like, hey, man, I broke my thumb. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to spot you. I'm like, it's fine. Like, I just need a little bit. And so he spotted me, and I'd seen him in there before. It took me until he was leaving to finally muster up the courage to go over to him and say, I'm happy you broke your thumb. And he goes, really? I said, I don't want you to take that negative. I was like, there are 2 types of fines, especially when it comes to the gym. You can either find an excuse or you can find a way. And you're finding a way. I said, don't ever lose that, kid. Don't ever lose that. And he was like, thanks, man. And
That's
took off.
super
And
cool.
for me, when I give that compliment, I hope like 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 years from now, that kid's still kicking ass in the gym. And he remembers back. He was like, hey, that old creepy guy told me, like, either find an excuse or find a way. I found a way for 20 years, and I'm going to keep finding a way.
Dude, and that's
But
we
why
don't
did it
have
take
that.
me? Why did it take me an hour and a half to muster up the courage to finally tell the kid, "Hey, I'm happy you broke your thumb"?
Yeah.
Because it shows what kind of character you have.
Like, how awesome of a compliment is that?
Yeah,
So what were you afraid of?
how he was going to receive it, because you never like
Has anyone ever? How many
No,
times have you said that to somebody?
Well, I've never said I'm happy you broke your thumb, but I've given a
But
lot of compliments.
specifically-
Yeah, and I've never gotten it. I've never given a compliment and then had backlash from it. Does that make sense? So let's try to unpack this. Why do I tell myself that it's going to be, if I give this kid a compliment, what I really want to say to him, is he going to take it the right way?
Because you're trying to give him a gift and you hate. It hurts your heart when you give a gift that someone doesn't like.
Yeah. Yep.
And so you'd rather not give the gift at all than to potentially not get the response you're looking for.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Right?
sense.
If I am so excited I found this and I think you're gonna love it, and you're like, oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you didn't like it.
Yeah. He did.
Fuck.
He did. Darn it.
But
Let me try again.
but
Yeah.
let's be logical about this and be honest about this. What's the thing we just said that happens in real life? People hate being uncomfortable. So let's say someone says something to me
Because
that
I don't know him. I don't even know his name.
well, I'm saying
Yeah.
reverse it.
Yeah.
Reverse it. You're a 20-year-old kid, and here's this creepy guy, big macho guy at 4:30 on a Sunday, come over and say, "Hey, I'm happy you broke your thumb." Even if you think that's the weirdest, craziest, dumbest, I hate this, I want to leave, what are you gonna physically say to the creepy guy? Thanks, man.
Yep.
And you're gonna walk away and go, man, that guy's fucking weird. But what you got as the creepy guy is a thanks, man. So it won't ever go bad.
Right.
It will either be not deep and meaningful, or it will be.
Yeah.
But neither scenario is the guy's like, fuck you, bro.
Yeah.
He's not going to
That's
say
good.
that. Not to
Yeah.
your face. You
That's
squish
good.
him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we have the more actions you take along those, the more you'll be honest with yourself with
And
that.
I am getting better with like just I'll see somebody in here and I'll go up and give them a compliment, and it's a lot easier now because I've had that practice and repetition. When
Yeah.
you don't do it, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like you go to a waiting room, doctor's office. You talked about this the other day. If we're in a waiting room and somebody's on that end of the couch, somebody's on this end, somebody's on this end, somebody's on that end, I have two options. I can either sit in the middle of those two people or I can stand. More times than not, what would you say the percentage is?
I'll
Like
say
80
everyone stands.
Right.
Yeah.
Go sit. Go sit. Be next to people.
Yeah.
Like start a small conversation. I know a lot of people, like I was in the DMV the other day and there's these two guys behind me just having an unbelievable conversation, just talking back and forth about obviously about the DMV, but about other things. And I'm just listening and I'm smiling. I'm not talking with them. I'm just enjoying that they are having the conversation. It's like we need more of that. This whole silence, 20 people in a room and not anybody says a word, that's more uncomfortable than when people start to talk.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
dude, and that comes from, so here's my theory on all this, okay? You as a child were made uncomfortable by your parents. And my mom and dad, specifically in the Polish tradition, we went over to a lot of people's houses for dinners. We had a lot of get-togethers, and they always forced me, Bart, come here, come say hi to Aunt Barbara.
Yeah.
She's not really an aunt, but every friendship is always an aunt or an uncle, right? That's what they call it. I don't want to talk to Barbara. I don't know him, but I don't know Barbara.
Right.
Like Barbara doesn't know me, so I have to strum up a conversation. Most uncomfortable, hated it more than I hated anything else in this world. And so I would try to find ways to like run away. Like I would, but nonetheless, as I became older and you become more of a self entity, not being ruled by your parents, you like ostracized yourself from those situations because you hated them so much as a child. I hate being forced to talk to people I don't know. I hate being forced to people I may not have anything in common with. I hate it. So as you get older, you stop doing it more and more and more, to the point where you eventually get to the point where you don't talk to anybody unless you specifically want to talk to them for a specific reason.
Yep.
And people think that they're happy because they don't have those awkward conversations anymore. But what they fail to realize is all of the spontaneity and opportunism that we have at our fingertips potentially are in the conversations we quote unquote don't want to have. Because if I'm already going to have a conversation with you, I more than likely know enough information to know the expectations of the outcome. But if I don't know somebody, I have no idea what they know, who they know, where they know it, any of those things.
But that's the beauty of conversation is we have this preconceived notion of what the outcome of the conversation is. But I can almost guarantee you 99.99% of the time, the outcome that you put in your mind on how this conversation is going to go does not happen.
That's right.
Does not happen. It leads to something better. It leads to something worse. But it's conversation. Like, that's what it is.
Have you spent much time in like small towns?
For work, occasionally. There's a over in Illinois. Like, if you've ever been outside of like the Metro East Illinois, once you get past O'Fallon and Shiloh or Edwardsville, Illinois is a rural, small farm town community.
Yeah.
Like Coulterville, Illinois, Pinckneyville, Illinois. Like, yeah, they're small towns. But yeah, a little bit, but not like there to like visit, if that makes sense.
I mean, like, have you had a meal there? Have
Yeah,
you? Okay.
for sure.
Don't people from small towns all talk?
Yes.
All of them.
I wrecked a car in Cartersville, Illinois, right outside of a recycling plant. I kid you not, Bart. I think the entire town came to see. There were 30 people just lined up, just like, that guy wrecked his car. I'm like, yeah, man, I wrecked my car. But it's like, maybe they didn't have anything going on that day. But yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
And that small town,
Yeah.
everyone speaks to one another because there's opportunity and, and we lose that when we get into these 98,
There's
100,000
100,000 people in O'Fallon.
Yeah.
100,000 people.
Yeah, in this small region,
Yeah.
right? So I'll never see this person ever again. So what's the point of starting up a conversation? You don't fucking know, dude. That's where life lives. Not only that, but like, again, there's perspectives. And the most important thing is the more people you physically talk to, the more of a grasp on our community, society, and fucking life you get.
And you find, I'm like in my industry, I'm in sales, so I'm used to talking to people. I can find common ground with almost anybody.
Yeah.
You talk to someone long enough, try to figure out their interests, and I've done enough like weird stuff, like research on the internet of just random stuff, that I can talk to them. Like if they want to start talking about lacrosse, I never played. I don't have any family members that played, but I have friends that played.
Yeah.
And Lindenwood was really good when we were there at lacrosse. So I'll spin it into that and I'll start talking about that. Well, do you know my buddy Sean who's here today?
Yeah.
Like, and then you have more in common with these 100,000 people than you want to let yourself believe that
Definitely more than the internet tells you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
1,000,000%.
So one of the biggest things, and the whole purpose of this whole conversation so far is, in my mind, to be unfuckable with. Because the internet fucks with you. It changes your perspective on things. It makes you go outside and believe the world's ending. Like it has a complete control over all of us. You become unfuckable with when your reality is X.
Yes.
Because you have a confined foundational truth about your life because you experience all of it firsthand. You cannot convince me otherwise.
No.
I don't give a fuck how many articles someone I don't know wrote about something I do know.
I don't care who got arrested, who got divorced from who, what celebrity did this or that. Like, that has no impact on me
What
and
this
my day-to-day.
professional says, what this professional says. They debunked this professional shits on this professional. None of that matters because I spoke to 700 people last week and we had all in common these four things. Is that... that's just happenstance?
So is that wrong?
Is that
like,
not real?
Are all 700 of us wrong?
All of us agree on this means we're all enemies because you tell me we're enemies? Like, that's the thing that they are... I don't know who the fuck they are, but whoever they are, that's they sit there and no, dude, if we all figured out that we're in the same fucking boat, they're fucked. And so all the internet is...
It's a bug's life, man.
It's 100% a Bug's Life.
Yep.
It's crazy that they even allowed that movie to be made because it's literally exactly it.
Yep.
And then secondly, everything I see on the internet now, I don't believe.
I'm bad about that too. I'm really bad about everything that I see, especially like from medical professionals now. Why do I look at it with a negative connotation? Like these people
I just don't believe it.
These people went to school, studied endless hours, have practiced their medical profession for 20, 30, 40 years. And yet now, because of what's happened in our country the last half decade, I automatically think, I don't think he really knows what he's talking about. Why would I think
Travis,
that I know more
I don't
than
even
that?
think he said it anymore.
Yeah.
I literally don't even believe my eyes and my ears because
That's not right.
I've fucked with AI. Like I downloaded ChatGPT and I there was a when I was looking into like getting a new tattoo, I downloaded like a visual creator where like you type in your keywords and it paints a picture for you.
Yeah.
Bro, like it's all duplicable now. So literally the internet for me, I am slowly working my way out of it, but it is not a source of information anymore. It's just not.
There's too much information, don't you think?
It's not real.
Yeah.
How can you tell me which one's real or not now?
That's hard. What's real? Like, I don't mean to get like too like deep in this. What's real is this. This conversation right now is real in my life
to us, but to them listening out there, bro, they don't know if I'm endorsed. They don't know if I have some backdoor deal. They don't know none of that.
One of the things that's kind of helped me, especially lately, is this is real. This is really happening right now. Nothing else in my life is happening right now. The laundry that needs to get done is not happening right now. The shit that I've done in the past is not happening right now. So it's not real. This is real.
Right.
Jack sitting here recording us doing this, this is as real as your life is ever going to get. And I mean that for anybody who's listening right now, just whatever you're doing, that's real. That's reality. That's reality right there.
Yeah.
Wherever your feet are. Like you've said it to me hundreds of times. Where are your feet?
Yep.
Wherever your feet are, that's your reality right now.
I've had to bring myself back into that because the what ifs and the how cans and where do we goes and all that stuff. Like,
and it just robs you of today's peace.
Absolutely.
The worry of tomorrow will rob you of today's peace. It's
we don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. You can't create it. You can't hold on to it.
Yeah.
You can't touch it. You can't draw it.
I'll tell. So, real quick story. My brother and I went to, I think it was like Game 3 or Game 4. The St. Louis Blues played the Los Angeles Kings like 10 years ago. It was a playoff game. Blues were down by 1 goal. There was about a minute left, and they were already down 2-0 in the series. So it's like Blues are done. I looked at my brother, and we both kind of looked at each other with the same eyes. We're like, "You want to beat the traffic?" So as we exited the arena, the fucking horn goes off. And I look at him, I go, they don't play that horn for the end of the game. They just fucking scored to tie it. They're going to overtime. He's like, yeah, we can't get back in. I'm like, yeah, we can't get back in. Can't get back in. Once you leave, you can't get back in. Oh. Blues lost like 5 minutes in. So, but it's just like, it's that thing. We were so worried about the traffic that it robbed us of enjoying that goal.
Do you remember the St. Louis the Cardinals versus the Texans World Series?
Texas Rangers, yeah.
Yeah, remember Freeze's home run?
Yep.
Andy took us all to that game. So I got to go to game 1.
That was game 6.
4,
1, 2, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 6, and 7.
Okay, so I went to 1, 6, and 7.
Yep.
And so we're all sitting there, and obviously, it's the 9th. They're losing by like 4 or some shit.
They were down by 2. And David Freese came up to bat. Yep.
Well, Andy leaves because he's so upset.
Yeah.
Andy leaves before
Huge
Freese.
baseball guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Andy and Sal, huge baseball guys. Yep.
They leave, or he leaves.
Yeah.
He's out of the stadium when Freese hits that fucking
Oh, man.
And he's not trying to beat traffic. He's just very into it. He's so emotionally involved.
Yeah.
And he was so upset that they were about to lose the World Series that he fucking left. And they fucking won that game.
Yep.
So that's just, trying to, even if they lose, I want to feel the loss. You've seen, now it's gotten too goddamn commonplace, but, when these national championship games happen and, the losing player, sits on the sideline and watches the Super Bowl celebration for the other team. And, no, it's been done, every fucking year now. But the first one to do it, I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
Feel the pain of losing the Super Bowl and watch them receive the trophy. That's an experience.
Yeah.
That's a fucking experience right there, dude.
That's the pain.
That's the pain. And I mean, that'll be a whole nother segment. What time is it? Do you have the time?
Only 9:50.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
I want to do a whole episode on this, but pain is the point.
Yes.
Pain and suffering and
you've said that to me so many times.
The pain is the point.
Because if you don't push through the pain, how do you grow?
I argue don't even push through it.
Live in it?
Just
the cow and the buffalo?
That shit.
Yeah.
Eat your pain.
Yeah.
Don't put up your chest and don't press and don't move it out of the way and get over it. Eat it until you shit it out.
Mm-hmm.
Consume it. Digest it. Let your stomach acids break it apart to nothing.
There's a quote that says, I think it's, you will grow through what you go through.
Yeah.
And the only way to grow is you have to go through it. You can't go around it. If you go around it, you will not grow.
You're on my table, and I am stretching your body to limits and causing you pain. Okay? What do you have to do at the most acute part of the pain point?
For me,
Yeah.
relax. Like fully relax. Just endure it, because I know if I fight you, if I try to push my leg back into you, that's defeating the purpose. So I have to just sit there
And eat it.
yeah.
Just fucking take it.
It does suck sometimes.
And what do you do to take it? What is your actual literal strategy when the pain is at that point? What do you do?
For me,
Yeah.
is a deep breath, and then just, I'm weird when it comes to like physiology and like training in general. So I'm like very, very weird. I like to take myself, like if you're stretching my hamstring, I'll breathe deep and then I'll think about my hamstring. Like I'll think about those fibers are now getting stretched. Like I'm moving myself.
Visualizing it.
Yes. So I visualize like the actual hamstring, and I'm like, okay, it's not going to tear. Just sit there and just
Let it happen.
go that extra centimeter. Just 1 centimeter more. And then another one. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
So,
your pain that you're feeling, guess what? It's you squeezing.
yes.
And
I
that's
just
like
have to
the
relax. Just
best metaphor of life. It's you're squeezing
yeah.
that causes you pain.
Yeah.
If you stop squeezing, the pain goes away.
Like-
Holy shit.
Yeah, like not that I have like any real experience, but like if you're having some sort of like relationship issue, either with a family member, a friend, a spouse, like the harder and harder and harder that you try to force something, it's just not going to be there.
Not only is it
At
not going
least-
to be there, it's going to cause you twice as much turmoil.
Yeah,
But how can I let it go? Isn't that
it's hard.
disrespectful?
It's hard.
Is
Bart, how long did it take for me to finally like get to it? But there's still days when you're stretching me, you're like, relax, dude, relax, because it's innate, it's in me that
But, okay,
I have to fight this.
What do I do to get you to relax?
You just tell me to breathe and talk calm.
What do I do physically?
Well, physically, you'll pull off a little bit of whatever you're doing, kind of let me relax, and then you just go right back into it and even further.
Don't I tap?
Yeah, you do.
I tap.
You tap. I'm very like touch sensitive, so like you'll.
But it just gets your brain to focus again. Because you're so focused on the arbitrary pain that you're feeling.
Yeah.
I tap your leg to bring you back down to where we're at. Right? And that tap, that's all you have to do with real world shit.
Yeah.
You find you find out some information that you extrapolate in your mind to this massive problem. It's not a problem yet. But you go, this problem can very easily grow into this giant problem tree.
Yeah.
Right? Tap your shit back. Take that breath. Realize it's not a problem right now. Let it go.
Yep.
Let it go.
You're robbing yourself of today.
You are. You're robbing yourself of today, and you're robbing yourself of the truth. And the truth is there's not a problem right now. Now, continuing these mistakes will continue your problems. So I'm not saying just hope and pray that things get better when you're causing yourself issues. But what I'm saying is your issue right now is your issue right now. Don't let your issue right now in your mind be 15 times larger a month
Right.
from now.
Right.
Just solve what it is today, and it won't be anything tomorrow. But if you try to solve tomorrow today,
Yeah, that's impossible.
it's not.
You can't do it.
Can't do it.
You cannot do it.
But that's what everyone's doing.
Yeah, you can't fix tomorrow's problems today,
That's what everyone's doing.
and you can't correct what you did yesterday today.
That's what everyone's doing.
Yeah.
My last relationship failed because of X. My new relationship, I'm going to do Y to solve X's problem.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it's like it's not algebra.
It's not algebra. And it does not carry over. Right? All the qualifications and quantifications and issues that you had with your last relationship, this new one doesn't have.
Yep. My daughters are in competitive gymnastics, and there's 4 events that they compete in, and when they have a bad event, let's just say like event 2, like they had a bad beam routine, they fell off the beam. I try to drive it into their head that what you did on beam has no impact on what you do on floor.
Yeah.
What you did on bars has absolutely nothing to what you're going to do on vault. The only thing you can control is your attitude and your effort. If you're sad because you fell off the beam, be sad. But when it's time to get on that floor, you better fucking kick ass.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't matter anymore. That's done and gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we do that with everything. We dwell a lot. I dwell a lot on decisions I've made in the past. I'm like, why did I do that? Like, why did I?
So isn't that because we're trying to pay homage and respect to the problem?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Because like if I just say, well, oh well, doesn't that seem disrespectful
Yeah.
to the issue?
Yeah. In a way, I guess, yeah.
And we feel like if we disrespect the issue, it's going to become bigger or larger or bite us in the ass again and again.
Or rear its head again.
Right.
Yeah.
So the other thing, the real quick, I know we have like 5 minutes, but I really
You're
wanted
good,
to
man.
hit this
You're good.
hit this thing. Victimhood. Okay, that's always been a very big topic, and I just keep trying to figure it out. So I kind of came to a conclusion. Why victimhood? Because I've heard now psychologists and say victimhood is like the easiest way to gain value and this and that. But what I really think is this: victimhood is prevalent simply because if you complain, then people know your struggle. Because if you don't complain, people assume you don't have a struggle.
Right.
Okay? That's the biggest fuck up I think we do. That when we see someone not complaining, we're assuming that they don't have any issues.
Right.
Just like when you pick up 150-pound dumbbells and bench them, because you can, and you don't go around saying, oh my God, that was so hard. Everyone assumes it was easy for you.
One of my favorite guys that I follow is Seth Feroce. And he had a line in one of his podcasts. It's like, look out the window right now. If you're sitting in traffic right now, roll your window down. Look at all those cars out there. Every person in this gym right now, they all have problems. There is not a single person on this planet that says, man, I don't have any problems. You're full of shit.
That's right.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
So for you to just look at somebody like you,
I get that a lot, dude.
Gigantor,
I get it a lot,
jacked,
dude.
you own your gym, must be nice, Bart. You don't know what's going on with me.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going on.
That's
in
why
my
it's so
personal life.
easy to complain. Because like as someone who pushes through struggle regularly, you become ostracized from the community almost. Because as the majority of the people complain and they have struggle and they have friction, they have tough times, if you don't and you succeed, they assume that you're succeeding without struggle.
A good example, who's the I'm bad with actors. There was a black actor who just passed away from cancer, but he was really good. I think he played maybe in Black Panther. I don't know. I'm bad. Yeah. But nobody knew. Nobody knew he had cancer until the 11th hour, and then he passes away. And it's like, would Hollywood have treated him different? Sure. Oh my, you have cancer? You get this role.
Yes.
He didn't want anybody to know because he didn't want a fucking handout. He didn't want somebody reaching their hand out and saying, come on, man, I'll he wanted to do the work. He had shit going on. He put it to the side and he's like, it's something I have to deal with. You don't have to deal with that with me.
Which is what we need to do is we need to go around assuming that everybody is fucked up. Everybody is going through hardship, and those that don't complain need to get the value. And go, wow, hey, Bart, Travis, you're chipper, bro. You're always in such a good mood. I know you're going through stuff. So I appreciate your strength. Because when you don't complain, no one thinks you're strong.
Right.
The only ones that are strong are the ones that complain about how hard things are.
And I'm telling you right now, especially men, there is not one of us on this planet that has not thought something incredibly dark and incredibly negative about themselves. There's not one of us.
There's not one female either.
Daily, dude.
Yes.
It's daily, but you have to suppress those thoughts and keep going. You have to just keep going.
Which is why the how are you question becomes so irrelevant, because it depends on what I choose to tell you today. Because every day I can give you the bullshit or I can give you the bull. You know what I mean?
I can lay out every thought that I've had today, and we can talk about every thought in detail, or I can just understand the fact that the same thoughts and the same feelings that I have, more than likely you have them too. So we have this common understanding that, yes, you've got some dark side to you, so do I, but I'm not choosing to bring that to light.
And that's the
Like,
thing.
this is what I want. This is what I want people to know me for.
That's
I don't want people to know me for some of the thoughts I have on occasion.
But don't you
know?
get the frustration from a male's perspective? I don't have a female's, obviously. Is we want people to know how hard we're working.
Yeah.
We want people to know that we're fucking giving it all we got.
Mm-hmm.
We want them to know that we're struggling and we're pushing through the struggle. Like a hard thing is to do all those things and have people assume that you don't have to. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm vocabularying this correctly, but like just because we don't complain
Yeah.
doesn't mean that we're not giving it everything we fucking got.
Right.
It's quite the opposite
This
because
is
it's easier to complain.
Right. It's when people say it's easy for, like, I know we're running short on time, but
I have another hour, so it's all
Okay.
depending on how you are and how Jack is.
I'm good. Kellen, I've trained with Kellen a couple times here lately, and for those of you who know Kellen, he's a monster.
It's
And I've known-
indescribable how large of a human being this
I've
is.
known Kellen since we were 18 years old. He's always been a bigger guy, and I've heard it for the last 2 decades. Man, must be nice. Little backstory. I gave Kellen a compliment the other day because he came from working, I think it was 30 hours straight. He was low on food, didn't have enough water. His head hurt. He was tired. He was still in here fucking kicking ass. So when people say that to him, it actually, it kind of ruffles my feathers a little bit because they're like, oh, it must be nice. Oh, really? Kellen just worked 30 straight hours. He doesn't have the right amount of food. He doesn't have the right amount of nutrition inside of him. He wants to go home and sleep. He's fucking here.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. So when you say things like that, when you're finding an excuse not to come here, that big bastard found a way to get here. And that's why he looks the way he looks.
And that's
It's like people want they want
but if he complained,
Right.
or if he complained to everybody and said, "I don't have enough food, I don't have enough water, but I still made it to the gym," and he made a story out of it, then people would be like, "Wow, Kellen," right? But it defeats the strength if you have to fucking tell everybody
Exactly.
about it.
You don't need that.
That's my point.
Yeah, you don't need that.
We fuck up the value delivery system as humans.
Yep.
We fuck up. We should be giving the ones that are fucking silently killing it and not complaining.
Right.
And finding a way.
Right.
And acknowledging them face to face, going, "Listen, dude, I know shit's hard. You got 3 fucking kids. Your wife's out of town. You're still getting it done. You're still taking care of your daughters. You're a fucking man, bro. I know that shit's hard. You don't have to tell
He's
me
got a
it's hard."
stressful job.
I'm talking about you.
Oh, well, yeah, sure. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
That's right now. Your wife's out of town. You got 3 kids.
Yeah.
They're all
This
doing
is
shit.
all true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I was
Yep.
literally talking about you. If you come around and go, "Bart, it's so hard. It's so tiresome. I'm so tired. I don't have enough time," I would have fucking feel for you.
But I don't need that. What does that do
But
for
if
me?
your value is from complaining,
Right.
like what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, I can't go to the gym today because I got to do X, Y, and
Okay.
Z. Or, hey, I'm going to rearrange my schedule,
figure
so
it
I'm going to
out.
go there.
I'm gonna figure it out.
I have this 25 minutes. I'm going to get something done there. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that everyone needs a pat on the back. What I am saying is if us as a community start to acknowledge those that don't complain and just get shit done, we will fucking start this trajectory a completely different direction. Instead of everyone sitting around complaining and moping and not doing anything, we'll start having a bunch of motherfuckers trying to do it.
You just said it. You cannot complain and talk about something and do it
No,
at
you
the same
can't.
time.
Nope.
You cannot tell me your struggles and then work to defeat them at the same time. You can't do it. Multitasking, you told me this. Multitasking is a myth.
Yeah.
People say that they multitask. No, you don't.
No.
Like, oh, I can chew gum and walk. Well, that's dumb. Don't say that. But it's like if you're doing one task, you cannot do another. I can't cook dinner
Not
and
at
work on
100%.
Yeah, I can't cook dinner and work on a
at
project at the same
100%.
time.
Yeah.
I have to stop one to do the other. I can't do them
That's right.
both.
That's right.
Yeah.
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 And you know, again, if we don't want to perpetuate the problem, we need to stop. I mean, I don't know, dude. Like I said, it's not about acknowledgement. It's not about beating pats on the back. It's not about any of those things. It's just about, you know, if you're giving it everything you fucking got, and you know, I don't know, dude. It's like
I
I don't know how to explain it.
I do think that sometimes hearing perspective on somebody, like maybe they did go through an injury or maybe they did go through a breakup or they lost a loved one. I think it is good sometimes to hear that, to understand,
Of course.
to be relatable, spinning it all the way back to what
But
we
that
first
doesn't
talked
change
about.
the doing.
No. Yep.
That's
Yep.
that's where the strength comes from. The strength comes from the doing anyway.
Yeah.
It's not that you're going through hard times. It's that I did my shit anyway.
Right.
That's what the
Yes,
strength is. The
that's-
strength isn't the hard times because everybody's got hard fucking times.
Mm-hmm.
So like the uniqueness is if you do something with it.
Yeah.
That's what makes you unique. That's the hard times.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a sob story. So damn it, go do something.
Just keep going.
Just fucking do something.
literally just keep going. Yeah. It's
Go do
just-
something. Right now. Get the fuck up, stop watching this, and go.